Hello, guys, and welcome to this brand new episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. It's all about how to manage everything as a business owner like yourself, as well as remembering that what you focus on grows. Now, this is the third in the three-part series, so go check out the last 2 weeks of the Limitless Landscapers podcast to get up to speed on where we're at. And today I'll be taking you through those 2 points I've just talked about in more detail. So, interested? Let's go to the show.
As the co-founders of the Landscaper Circle, we help you get more money, time and freedom to become limitless. Through our experiences as fellow landscapers and our tried and tested methods, if you want help with your marketing, managing or growing your business, you've definitely come to the right place. If you're a landscaper, garden designer or supplier to the industry, then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the Limitless Landscapes podcast. How are you? Have you watched the last 2 weeks episodes that leads up to this third and final part of this trilogy of podcasts aiming to help you grow your businesses, keep focused, and throw in a little bit of woo while we're about it? Have you enjoyed these podcasts? If you have, please drop me a message via email, paula@thelandscaperscoach.co.uk, or DM me on Instagram, or even leave me a review down below because that would be awesome. Or subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow that too. So if you like this, subscribe, rate, whatever it is, but do something so other people can find me. Anyway, back to this episode. We're talking about focus and we're talking about managing everything. And being a business owner, you are first and foremost there to manage and do everything. And the idea is slowly but surely, you put into place systems that allow you to come out of your business. Ultimately, your end goal should be really that the business can run without you. So it gives you far more options as we go into exit planning and all of that jazz. Today, I just wanted to talk about how what you focus on grows. And it's something that is a little bit woo, it's a little bit about manifestation, which you know I love. And it really is important because if you focus on something enough, it will tend to grow. It's the same as if you ignore something, it will disappear. If you don't work on a relationship, if you basically ignore it, don't tend to its needs, it will probably disintegrate. And similarly, if you focus on something enough, it will grow. You might have to be patient, you might have to change strategies and tactics, but essentially, if you are focusing on it, then it will grow. And this has been proven to me multiple times in my business journey with my own landscaping business, Aura Landscapes, that when you start to really focus on things that are important, then the business will grow. And lately, if you've listened to earlier episodes of the podcast or if you follow me on Instagram, I've been running a sales meeting with my not management team, it's basically the heads of departments, let's call it that way. And essentially, we've just basically been utilizing a morning each week, and that is literally 45 minutes maximum, where we discuss where we are now versus where we want to be by the end of the month, what those figures are, so what are the KPIs, what are the activities we're going to do to get there? And essentially, we review the week gone past and then we set actions to do that week going forward. Basically, to focus on sales, because I believe, and I might do a separate podcast on this, but I believe that sales is the most important thing in your business. And whether you do that or someone else does, that's down to you and also cash flow. But essentially, if we don't have a sale, then we don't have a business because sales effectively make business. Now, I can go into a lot more on pricing and good sales versus bad sales, etc., etc. But essentially today, I just wanted to give you a real life example that since we have been implementing this sales meeting once a week, because the focus is truly on the numbers have been improving. So that is, for me, proof right there that if you focus on it, it will grow. If you ignore it, it won't. And it's the same when you're in the gym, muscle memory. If you've been out of the gym for a long time, you like training, and then you've given up for some reason or another. When you go back to the gym and you start again, that muscle memory kicks in and you start to focus on your body and it starts to change and develop. No difference here. It's just about deciding what's important to you to focus on. Like I said, I've decided that sales is the most important. But for you, it might be starting a new service, offering something brand new. It might be that you want to just focus on marketing. It might be that you want to focus on team development or team growth, whatever it might be. Just make sure that you really are set in laser focus on that item, that agenda item for now, and then see what happens when you do dedicate time to it, when you dedicate the focus to it, and see what happens. Because trust me, it can lead to substantial growth when you focus on real key areas and important areas that are important to you and your business going forward. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is how you manage your business. There's so many things that I can do, because ultimately, when you are an entrepreneur like us, you start your business, yet you have no idea what the hell you're doing, but you just end up being everything to everybody. And you've really got to learn how to manage a few things. Now, one of those is your time management and prioritization, because you need to get really good at time management. And one of the last episodes, I did talk more about planning, and a lot of that came down to how I manage my time now, which has proven to be much more effective than stuff I've tried in the past. But essentially, you do need to look at what your clear goals are for the business, and then prioritizing tasks according to importance of how important that goal is to you, and what actions you need to achieve that goal. And then in order to get some time back, because ultimately that's what we need as business owners, we need to get some time back, because otherwise we can get stuck doing the admin jobs. We can get stuck doing the £10 an hour jobs rather than the £100 an hour jobs. You've heard this before, it's nothing new, but you need to start delegating and, in my opinion, outsourcing as quickly as possible, because the more you buy your own time back, the better you can get on focusing that time on the right task, and the quicker you get to your goals. So that is really important, setting out those goals, prioritizing actions, and then delegating or outsourcing. You also have the beautiful problem of managing people. As soon as you have a team that work for you, you really need to start managing them. And you need to think of good ways to effectively manage them. And some of those are being really good at communication. I think a lot of things fall down and become incohesive in a team when there isn't effective communication. So some ideas for this is to have regular calls and meetings with your team leaders, to have a regular catch up with your whole team, whether that's monthly, bi-monthly. You need to decide what works for you and your business. I'm not saying spend all your days in meetings, but if nobody sees you and essentially no one hears from you, and I've fallen into this trap before, they become almost not part of the business. You don't have a business, you have small teams within a business that don't always work together and almost go against you in a way. And this has happened to me multiple times when I've pulled myself away from the business, pulled back, and not really effectively communicated the plans. We've not done team meetings and stuff like that, so people don't feel part of the organization. So effective communication, however you want to deliver that, is important. Building that strong team and then fostering a really good work environment for them is another way. But again, that comes back to managing them really well through communication, through them seeing you in the business, seeing how the business works, getting to know other people in the business, not just the person they work with. And I think as small business owners, this can happen a lot. We have our small teams, our build teams, our soft landscaping, hard landscaping, maintenance teams, whatever it might be. And they just stick together and they work together. So they become a team, but they don't actually interact with the rest of the team or the bigger picture. So they don't understand the importance of the bigger picture and what everybody contributes to that. And part of this is implementing systems and processes. Again, I've done a podcast on this. Go back and check that out if you want more on that. But essentially, it's really important. It's also really important to resolve conflict quickly. And again, that's allowing an open communication between you and your employees. It's making sure that you're able to try and resolve disputes before they get blown out of proportion. and it's trying to maintain a really tight-knit team. And you can do lots of things, like you can have reward systems in place. You can take them out for team bonding sessions. You can just go out to the pub every Friday night if you like. But essentially, you want to try and cultivate that team atmosphere to not only reduce the risk of massive conflicts happening that breaks teams apart and effectively, ultimately, will impact you and your business and your plans, but also maintaining that harmony, maintaining that team atmosphere. It's really hard when you're a small business, but we have to think of these things in order to keep our team strong around us so that we can continue as we want to in our businesses. It's really important when you're managing everything in a business to put finance at the top of the list. This is because finance, sales, money is the backbone of any business, and it's ever more important for a small business, particularly if you haven't got a big financial cushion behind you. You might not have investors, or you haven't got that extra income coming in that can cushion anything. So you really need to look at your cash flow forecasting. I'm just going to reel off some ideas here for you with finance management, but you need to have a really good cash flow forecast system in place. You need to review it regularly. You need to track expenses. And the best way to do this is using an accounting package, in my opinion. Have an accountant if you can afford it, because that will take a lot of the hassle out of this and give you some idea on actual what figures you are hitting, what's bringing in the most money, etc. But essentially, it's really important, because if you know what your budgets are, your expenses are, how much money's estimated to be in the business, you can then discuss ways to reinvest profits back into the business for growth, take better wages for yourself, increase staff wages if you want to, implement bonus schemes. You've got lots of, if you've got money in the bank and you know there's money in the bank and you've got profit there, you can do a lot more than just sit on it. It's all about growth and reinvesting that into the business. Really important is managing your time. And also, please look at this as ways to avoid burnout, because if you get into the stages of burnout, which can often look like overwhelm, it can often start with procrastination, it can look a bit like depression at times. The fact is, if you're already in that stage, you need to really relook at your work-life balance. It's really important to maintain a healthy balance between your work and your professional life. I know we all have big goals that we want to achieve, but no one has ever achieved a big goal while looking burnt out and then enjoyed it. Let's say that. You might achieve your goals, but you might not enjoy actually the fruits of your labor if you're at burnout already. So it's really important when you're looking at time management and managing everything and being everything to everyone, as we are as small business owners, you need to think about what is a healthy balance for you and how you can achieve that work-life balance. And it might not be achievable right this second, but it could be a goal for the future. Like, you'd like to work a 4-day week. There's no reason why you shouldn't and couldn't. It's about then looking at how do we make that goal happen and implementing stuff that will allow you to do that, setting actions that will allow you to get to that at some point in the future, putting a timeline on there. So really drilling down on what's important to you, and also what will enable you to live that life that you've always dreamed of. Because there are ways, nothing's ever impossible. The very word says I'm possible, obviously. The final sort of section I wanted to talk about is about developing your mindset for success. Now, it's really important that we constantly look at what we are thinking and what we are saying, because what we speak and do brings stuff back into our lives. So you need to be mindful of what your mind is doing. Are you acting in lower energy vibrations, such as jealousy, anger, hate? Or are you elevating your energy and your mindset by being in joy or happiness or love? It's as simple as that, really. And a lot of the time, what we talk to ourselves, so our self-talk, is what brings our mindset down. The jealousy pops up, the ego in our brains pop up and question everybody and everything, compare ourselves to everyone else, and oh, they must be doing better than me because they're doing this. They're doing this and this works for them. Why doesn't it work for me? And it can be a very negative thing. It can be a negative downward spiral. You can begin to really feel the shift in energy as well, and it will only go further downhill and negative from there. So it's really important to adopt a growth mindset, to adopt that positive energy, to think of how you are acting, what you are speaking, what you are thinking. And the ultimate is very simple. The ultimate way to change it is to just be aware. Because if you're aware that you're always negatively talking to yourself and you switch that around to positive talk, your energy will change immediately. Your mindset will elevate and you'll be vibrating at a higher level, which attracts more abundance rather than scarcity. It's that simple. I know it's a little bit woo, but I do promise you a bit of woo on these podcasts anyway. And always thinking of solutions for overcoming challenges. Today, I had a member of staff hand in their notice. It's not ideal timing. There's holidays, there's work in the diary, there's a whole team to manage. But essentially, it is what it is. And I always look at how do I overcome challenges to become a stronger, better business and a stronger, better person, a more resilient person. And how can what will motivate me to get there? So what's really motivating me to do this? And essentially, I want my business to continue to grow with or without certain people in it. That's fine. I've just got to work out a way to do that now that someone has effectively left. And it's all about overcoming challenges. And that starts with your mindset anyway. Because if I was in a negative thought cycle, if I was in a really negative mindset space, I wouldn't even be thinking of solutions. I would just be probably very angry, probably very hateful, and wouldn't be able to think of solutions and think everything's going wrong, it's depressing, what's the point, etc. But in being in more of a growth mindset individual, a positive mindset individual, being able to look for solutions in all life's challenges, I have got a resilience there that allows me to think, no, this isn't gonna change things for me. This is an opportunity for me to change my business, to develop my business and effectively grow, maybe in a different way, maybe in, slightly different way it's going to look, but essentially I'm still going to grow my business. I'm just going to develop a new way to do that and do that through overcoming these challenges and thinking of solutions. It's really important for you to think of all these things because you need to implement these strategies that we've discussed, and you need to decide what it is you want to focus on in your business to ensure that change happens and that you grow, if that's what you want. But remember, what you focus on grows. And if you've got to manage everything, let's implement the strategies I talked about in the podcast to help you do so. And if you need support and guidance, that's what I'm here for. I'm Paula, the landscapes coach, and I'm here to support you in your business journey, wherever you are there. So if you've got any questions, do drop me a line. If you like this episode, like I said, subscribe, like, share. It all helps me. And I am a small business owner. I have my own landscape business, but this is also another small business of mine that I truly love working with the clients I have. And I love creating these podcasts for you. So if you can share, subscribe, and give me some feedback, I'd be most appreciative. So that's me. That's this evening. I'm done for this episode of the Limitless Landscapes podcast. Hopefully, I'll see you on the next episode next week. Ciao for now, guys.